And on the left side of the map, the lower left, is our Terran player from the team F.United. One of our foreign stars he is.
F.United, Phoenix.
Some pretty trendy glasses he's got there.
Yeah. I haven't tried any of those glasses yet.
Are those glasses? Well, anyway, there is.
GSTL, Leipzig.
Are those glasses that are supposed to make your eyes?
Performance-enhancing glasses, yeah. Okay. I haven't tried those yet, although I'm very interested in getting my hands on some of those.
Performing-enhancing glasses. You make it sound like they're going to ban them soon or something like that.
Well, I know some players really like to wear them, like In Control, for example.
Yeah?
Tends to wear those.
Yep.
Some people really says it makes a difference for them, so, you know, no harm in trying it.
If you get headaches after playing a long time, it's good to take breaks, but if you can't do that, I don't know. Looks like it's going to be maybe going to be a hatch first from OGS Lovesick. Maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here.
Yeah, he's most likely going to hatch first. He just wanted to scout first. It's a quicker drone scout.
Yep.
No 2 racks from Thorzane. It's not really his style.
It's not really Thorzane either.
Oh, I'm like... I meant to say Phoenix. I'm like... We like thought it was gonna be Thorzane so much that I'm like convincing myself that it's, even though like when I said that I had Phoenix's face in my head.
Someone tweeted at me that he kept turning around when we said his name, so I was just trying to say his name really loud a bunch of times to see if he turned around.
He's probably looking at us right now.
It didn't work. Oh no, he's not. He's watching the model right now. I just checked.
Well, Phoenix's style actually, in most cases, is to play a macro game. He really likes the macro style, and for that reason, this is what I was trying to say, was it's not really his style to go 2-racks. In fact, Thorzane has several times gone 2-racks.
Oh yeah, it's a great opening to do these days. It's still pretty difficult for Zerg to handle. You have to respond just about perfectly to not take much damage from it. And you're always going to take a little bit, it seems like.
It does feel that way.
Yeah.
Now, the SCV Scout is going to sneak in here, sees the hatch first.
Certainly does, and there's the factory from Phoenix as well. And just from the building placement for Phoenix, I wouldn't be surprised to see him to do a reactored Hellion expand. Yep. Most likely, yep, there's a reactor going down.
Pretty common build to see.
Probably the safest opening in TVZ right now, I would say.
Most people wouldn't consider that. It does take a lot of micromanagement.
Yeah.
Not always the easiest build to pull off.
Which one?
No, this Hellion expand. It's not always the easiest build to pull off.
Really?
Yeah, I would say that.
You think 2-racks is?
No, I'm just saying that with the micro required with the Hellions, you got to put a little bit of pressure on.
Well, you have to be. It's true. You have to be careful. I mean, you can't just go crazy and try to kill all the drones and lose them all. You know, you need to keep those Hellions alive. Yeah. They're much more valuable to be used as killing off creep tumors and things like that.
The key with this opening is to make use of the Hellions in some way, but not lose them. So control the towers, use them for defense if it becomes absolutely necessary to do that. It's the key behind this build. Similar to the Reaper expand.
Exactly, yeah. I was just going to mention that too. A lot of people have this misconception that they need to do this early damage because of the 2-racks, you know, which is meant to do early damage.
Right.
They think that things like the Reaper expand and the Hellion expand, you're supposed to go in and kill workers, but those 2 expands are really more for map control and finding out what you're going up against.
Exactly. Yeah. Because with these Hellions, control the watchtowers, as you can see. Phoenix coming
look at that. Come on in, Zergling. Check out my base. And that Zergling was so well controlled from Lovesick. He actually brought it around the very bottom of the map intentionally to avoid the Hellions. And he sees everything. So really nice move by Lovesick.
Meanwhile, Phoenix's Hellions are shut down at the bottom of the ramp. There's a spine crawler at the top.
Yep. And did you see how he kind of put that? I'm not sure if it was intentional, but he does have the creep tumor right next to the spine crawler as well, so it does keep it relatively safe from the Hellions too.
Very true.
Yeah. Phoenix is going to be fairly safe to expand, though.
Yeah,
he's got to be careful with the Hellions. This is what we were talking about.
He does get away with it, and partially got away with it because Lovesick was just kind of thinking, well, if he does control, if he is paying attention, then I can't do this. So that fear made him back away, even though Phoenix actually was not selecting his Hellions at that moment.
Yeah, really fast third command center for Phoenix as well. We see more and more Terrans doing this, and on this map, it's really easy to actually hold those 3 initial bases. Yeah. So absolutely no reason not to.
Zerg can't really attack the third base location without destroying the rocks, and it's very difficult to do. Look at that, killing a lot of Lings with these Hellions.
Very nice controls. Phoenix is showing us exactly how you're supposed to do this opening right now. Just kind of lurking at the front. You can see that it's making Lovesick have to make a Roach Warren. Yeah, Phoenix is really playing this well at this point.
There is going up at the natural rather than the main.
Yep.
Roach Warren coming out. He's probably going to make just a few roaches. I don't think he's really going to commit to that. He wants to be able to defend and also wants to be able to use those roaches if the mech play starts coming out. You know, when Thoras come out, you need those roaches in some cases. In fact,
Yeah.
yep, just going to make more roaches.
Well, now the nice thing about this too is that, well, I was about to say if he overmakes roaches, but that's actually what you just got done talking about. Oh, 2 Lings get into the main.
Yeah, that's the second time this happened. Now he sees the third Commander also sees that he doesn't need to make any more than 4 roaches because he's making the switch into Marine Tank, able to see absolutely everything.
I just want to give Lovesick a trophy right now that just says Best Zergling Scouting Control, because we saw him do it last game against Soccer too, just really being able to use those Zerglings effectively to get in and see what he needs to see with them. Oh, that Hellion's dead.
Look at that roach split he's got.
Yeah, very cool.
5 roaches in total, very well split using the Queen as well.
Yep, no Hellions are getting there anytime soon. Engineering Bay going down for Phoenix. He's going to want to get those bio upgrades going and also going to want to put down a couple turrets. Stay safe against the possibility of Mutas.
Interestingly enough, Lovesick continues to produce roaches. He's got 3 more on the way. Getting +1 melee attacks right now. Droning up pretty heavily. Also getting his Baneling Nest and roach speed.
Okay. Now that's interesting because that would, you know, indicate that he wants to go into more of a roach-heavy play, and you know, roaches don't do terribly well in the later stage of the game where you have lots of Marines, lots of tanks.
Yeah, when the medevacs really get out, that's when, you know, you just can't kill Marines fast with your roaches.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how Lovesick decides to play this.
I think he just wants to have these roaches initially to be able to defend before the medevacs are out, because they do quite a lot of damage. And this attack by Phoenix, I think, is not a good choice.
It's a little bit early.
He doesn't have enough units to really make this work yet.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job of keeping his Hellions alive. That'll keep him safe against a lot of those Lings, but it's a bit of a risk. Is it going to pay off? We're going to see. He's killing a couple creep tumors.
Yeah, he's being extremely patient here. I have to say it's one thing that's really good about this push. He's just going to go home. That's how you do it.
Yeah, up to this
point.
point.
Force a lot of units, say, I can't break you now, I'm just going to go home. I killed some tumors. Why not just go home?
Now, he did stim the Marines. I mean, that is kind of a rough thing to do without really any medevacs out. But so far, at this point in the game, I think this is the best I've seen Phoenix play yet since he's come to Korea.
He did play that one really good game against Juan as well. And, you know, it shows that when he can get to the macro stages of the game, sometimes he can do quite a good job, especially when he's been training hard like he has at the IM house. Losing his Hellions, though,
that
in the middle of the map, doesn't indicate good play. But sometimes these things happen. Look at that control.
It's like, I'm in a heap of trouble! And then the microphone cuts off. And, you know, Phoenix is still pretty safe right now. The Spire is on the way. Of course, it is all the Mutas and things like that are going to be a little bit later for Lovesick because he did make the Roach Warren and the Roaches.
+2 melee attacks on the way, 16 Banelings morphing. With Banelings at the top of the ramp on Antique Controller, it makes it very difficult for Phoenix to move out around that area. The Watchtower, of course, grants vision.
Well, you know what?
Lovesick, and it's one of the most difficult things in the world to attack up a ramp with Banelings at the top of it with Marines.
You know what I'm really wondering is the change they're proposing that's on the test realm right now that reduces the vision up ramps by 1. That's going to have a huge impact on things like this.
Yeah, it really will.
Yeah. And here he comes. Phoenix has some micro. Well,
good
looking
splitting.
okay so far. Yeah, looks like Phoenix is going to be able to clean this up pretty well.
That was really good Marine splitting by Phoenix.
Yeah.
Now he's going to clean up these roaches.
He's playing great, but the big question now, I think, is he going to have the anti-air he needs once the Mutas come out a little bit later in this game?
Well, his eBay, of course, has been up for a while, but he doesn't have turrets. He only has 1 turret at his third base location.
Yeah.
I'd love for him to take and hold the tower and stop the third base, or fourth base, I should say, the gold base going up for Lovesick. If he can hold the tower, siege up there, I think that would be a good position for him to take while he, you know, starts Thor production. His armory just finished. Maybe make a few Thors and use turrets to hold his main.
Well, his armory is finishing at almost the exact moment that +1 will finish, so that'll time up nicely for Phoenix to get his 2-2 going. is going to push up the ramp and take the center of the map, and it looks like it's going to be a counterattack from Lovesick, and this could do some damage to the third if Phoenix isn't careful.
Yeah, it looks like this small tank Marine army isn't going to be enough to hold this location.
Yep, focusing down the tank, and Phoenix is going to need to pull back at this point, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough metabags.
Yeah.
That's the rest of his army back. He's going to lose a lot of Marines here. The Roach is actually just going to break through. He make it a tank. He gets a tank that pops out for free, essentially. Ooh. Will he target down the second tank? Nope. Some Roach is trying to harass that base. Not quite working out.
Yep.
And you guys can see when the Marines are there, there's enough medevacs. It's very difficult to use Roaches against Marines.
Huh. All right. And the mutas are out doing some harassing. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you just
Phoenix
barely got
to drop
those
it off.
Marines out of the medevac in time.
Yep. Looks like he's going to push out, try to take that center area. The center of Antigua Shipyard is so important for Terran players. I mean, if you can get that, you can take the gold. You can be pretty confident with that and get a nice lead.
It's kind of the key point here, and especially when your opponent is trying to take the gold, it's so important to hold the center, and now see, Lovesick can't take the gold anymore. He's unable to hold it.
Well, I think this is going to end up being one of those maps where the gold is going to be really tough for Zerg to take against Terran. Yeah, just kind of like Metalopolis, same kind of idea there. And it looks like Lovesick may just circumvent this and go around the bottom of the map.
That planetary isn't done. He may just try to target it, but gets a little bit nervous. Too many siege tanks for him to handle. Muta's coming through the center, targeting down these siege tanks.
Yeah, Phoenix is going to lose one tank, it looks like, almost losing a second. Needs to be very, very careful about that. His Marine count is a little bit low right now. Only 26 Marines out on the field, so that's something that Lovesick can really take advantage of.
Hatchery does fall here. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't tried to use his mutas more. He doesn't have very many of them, only 15, and that's just because a ton of them just popped right now. But, you know, he's got that number of mutas where he can start harassing. He's got to know holding the centers is not something he can accomplish right now. He needs to start taking other bases. But as you can see, he's taken the 3 o'clock base. It's very difficult to hold bases on Antigua Shipyard, though, because if you don't take the gold, you have to take a base that's far away, easily harassable.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
To circumvent that, he should be using his mutas to keep Phoenix in his base.
Yep. Phoenix is going to need some sort of anti-air defense at home. Have to see what he has planned for that. And it looks like, again, Lovesick's just going to run right around the middle of the map.
He was spotted by that sensor tower. Thors have come out, so he's starting to do a little bit of damage to those.
Yep.
Going to kill a lot of units here, though, and there aren't very many Marines. That is a ton of Banelings going to roll right up here. The depot is down again.
That is a lot of Banelings, and they're going to kill all the SCVs at the natural. Plenty of Banelings to spare as well. Oh, all the SCVs in the main. This could really turn the tide of the game right now.
And meanwhile, there's no defense of the planetary for the mutas.
Yeah. So
the gold base is being harassed, and the only turret there falls. Muta's killing so many SCVs at the gold base.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
not
Phoenix
looking good.
I don't know, man. I mean, Phoenix just didn't keep his bases well defended enough. Put too much focus on the gold, and this is what happens when you do that. You counterattacked.
I think the real problem here is that whoever built the the supply depot next to the barracks and the wall officer's main base actually messed up the hinge. It's broken, you see. That's why Phoenix can't ever lift it. Even when he sees the Zerg when he's coming, he just can't lift it. I think that's the main problem here, man.
For that one.
Yeah.
It's a defective supply depot, that's why.
It doesn't raise, I don't know.
Yeah, obviously looks still down right there. Yeah, I think you nailed it. Defective supply depot.
It has never lifted, man.
Yep, and these Marines are going to do a lot of damage to the Lings, but not before the Lings do a lot of damage to the Marines.
The Muta's just catching Marines in small groups, taking them out. Look at this.
It's my nightmare.
Not a lot of SCV splitting there.
No, not exactly. And so Lovesick doesn't quite, well, he's going to poke it if he doesn't quite have
these
enough.
Tanks in the middle of the map that have no Marines to support them.
Yep.
Getting about 4 tanks for free.
Phoenix is kind of falling apart at this point. Just like his supply depot kind of malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Phoenix is about to lower down to the ground and never raise again.
I guess so. He's like gonna hide under his desk after the game. He was really playing well up to this point. I mean, he didn't really make a huge amount of mistakes. He just made one big one, you know?
Exactly.
He made a big mistake about his
things are starting to snowball out of control after that.
Yeah. He's trying to push now because he's like, all right, I have to do some damage or this game is basically over, but Thor's getting taken out.
Magic boxes the Thor, gets it. Very split-second decision there, and look at this, he's going to clean up the entire
the Marines
army
are
of Phoenix.
fighting the rocks.
Bungles the Marines, they can't retreat, and these tanks are basically going to be taken for free. There's not even enough Marines to deal with the mutas.
Yeah, the tank spread was pretty good for Phoenix, but those Marines got caught when they were trying to focus down those rocks, and the fungal did a lot of damage to them. Yeah, that pretty much eliminates Phoenix's map presence.
Yeah, now what Lovesick can actually do is hold the watchtower, hold that high ground, and start bungling the gold base SCVs. He can do whatever he wants, and here come the infestors now.
Now Phoenix,
are they going to do the dirty work?
I think they might. They like to do the dirty work.
I think they're going to do the dirty work on those
burrowing
SCVs.
Underground. It's a dirty job to be an infestor.
It is pretty dirty, man.
Now Phoenix isn't completely out of it yet, but he is very far behind right now. It's going to be very difficult for him to catch up. Yep. And here we go. It's dirty time. And actually not the best engagement for Lovesick there.
Yeah, he fumbled some Marines, but lost a lot of mutas, and
it was dirty.
What?
All right, well,
that was actually the silliest thing I've ever watched. I'm like, oh, well, he could just fungal some of the SCVs and then back up. But he's like, no, I want to attack down, or my Lings have to run all the way around a ramp and around a bunch of Marines and then like try to target. No!
That
Nothing about that made sense. He threw away all of his mutas.
Yeah.
He's got 3 mutas left.
Long distance mining at the gold. That's going to get shut down by Phoenix. And wow, Lovesick's just like, you know, I don't want this game to end quite yet. We're going to.
Well, he's scared because he lost his 3 o'clock base. And now he doesn't really have another mining base. He's running out, and GG.
GG.
He just didn't have it. Phoenix had the whole other side of the map.
I guess so. I guess it was too much for Lovesick to handle.
He didn't want to be patient.
Yeah. Lovesick's like, wait, did I don't know. That's one of those tough games to handle. You know, he's going to be kicking himself for that one a little bit. Because it looked like he was pretty far ahead. I mean, Phoenix was losing a lot of Marines. One bad engagement is all it took.
Yeah. Well done by Phoenix. He was able to, even though he lost his entire army in several engagements, he was able to just take the entire map, something that Lovesick was unable to do. And in these positions, it's very difficult for Lovesick because he has to kind of expand in a weird direction that's away from the kind of corner, whereas Phoenix can kind of just go around like this. Like I'm like drawing the diagram because I guess for your perspective it'd be more like this, whereas Lovesick has to like go all around like this, and there's like this gap, and it's just not easy for Zerg in those positions on Antigua Shipyard to take additional bases. That's why he took the gold, which is actually so difficult to do.
I'm really surprised he actually went for that, because if you put it kind of a little bit more out of the way, you can. I think it's easier to defend against drops and things like that, you know, from the games that we've seen, than to try to hold that gold. It's kind of like taking the gold on Metalopolis, you know?
If you go back and watch the VOD of this, you'll find that in most cases Lovesick never harassed with his mutas, but rather kept them with his main army. So always there was opportunities to kill SCVs in the main, natural, third base. He never even split them at all. He didn't even shut down drops with them, so the drops just killed bases.
That's kind of what we were talking about too. You know, he didn't really take advantage of the defense that Phoenix had. So who is Phoenix going to have to play against now? Could send out the wind, man. He's a pretty good Zerg player. Oh,
MC.
Look at this. It's going to be MC, unless he's messing with us. Actually, he's just messing with us. It's going to be the STC.
He's just messing with us.
Yep. Thanks a lot, MC.
But maybe, since the STC messed with us last time, MC is going to be the closer.
Maybe. MC knocks on the window. He's like, you see this fist? It's cheering for you. It's like he's that guy from Full Metal Alchemist, and he's like, rips off his shirt. He's like, my Protoss skills have been passed down for many generations of the MC line. But this is the STC.
To Armstrong.
That's right. Armstrong. I get it. All right. Forget MC. We might see him later. Now, let's take a look at this guy. OGS the STC. Made a lot of fans. Is he putting the ball into his mouse or something? He's got like one of the really old mice from like the mid-90s.
I think he's just putting a battery in it or something. Or no, he's actually just putting the grips on it.
Oh, 5-minute break time, guys. We'll be right back. Phoenix versus the STC. Don't go anywhere. This is the GSTL.